All right, well, look it. We got the Maxima up here. I got it back, traded it back for the Civic. I have that video all recorded on the GoPro. I got to edit, so I think that'll go up before this. But in this video, I'm just kind of dinking with it. Got all the coolant drained out. Obviously I got the whole front end apart. I got the bumper off. I have the radiator out, battery out, the coolant hoses obviously. Because I was gonna install my headers, which I have in the trunk, but I'm not messing with the bolts. I don't want them to snap after trying. They're pretty hard, and I know they're prone to snapping, and I don't want that because then I can't drive it. So I'm just gonna have my exhaust shop do it. That I have do all my stuff. He said he'd charge me about $150 to put brand new bolts in, good bolts, and then my headers. And I don't even want to mess with getting to the back. So he's gonna do that for me. So I got the filter there. It's full of dirt though, because I don't know. They took this thing mudding or something. Got the bumper and the radiator over here. It's got the brand new radiator and stuff. And the guy who I sold it to, well, the girl, she put a brand new battery in it, so that's awesome. Got it back for the Civic, straight trade, which is a pretty good deal on my part. They went ahead and put the water pump in it, so everything, it runs and drives great. I believe he put new front struts, I want to say. So I think it was front struts. He did something with the struts. Yeah, you can see I think he said the inner part of the strut he did, so I don't know. Alright, don't mind me listening to some old vintage LMFAO out here in the garage. Got it heated up now. Got this little heater on to keep my stuff nice and warm. It was really cold up, but the garage is probably about 50 degrees now, and you're supposed to paint around probably 60 to 70. But I've had this heater on, and I have my heat gun on here, and it's nice and it's good. So I got it sanded pretty smooth. There's a couple of small little dings. This is the first layer of primer. Small little imperfections in it, but it's so much better than it was. So it's gonna look really good with probably 2 more layers of good primer. This is good primer. It's filler primer, so it fills imperfections. So this is perfect. Couple more layers of this, maybe even 3. And it'll look really good. This was all like rust right here, if you guys remember, and then I had sanded it super smooth, Bondo sanded, filler putty sanded, and so it was red, all red, pink, and a little bit of bare metal here. But the rust is 100% gone on the inside of the fender too. So now it's time for primer, this thing looks super good. This is just the first layer, that's why you can still see a little bit of the imperfections. So this is going to look really good. We do have the factory paint inside. It's inside staying nice and warm. It's getting everything fixed. And this big crack that was back here that I showed you guys in the previous videos, I filled it. It's solid now. Painted it with the paint that they had. They had a pearl white, but it wasn't the same match. It's pretty close. But you can still see like the filler alongside of it. So I need to sand it some more, a lot more, and then tape off and then paint it with the actual paint. And I'm gonna use that primer because I have another can of it right there. So yeah, see how it turns out. All right, guys, it's October, I believe 12th or 13th today. I tried my painting last night. Everything was going just great. The sanding and the body work turned out phenomenal. As you can see there, you can see the body line. That little bumper there is a high spot in the metal, which I didn't want to grind down. I was too lazy. But it's white, but it's got the pearl isn't a gold pearl like it was supposed to be. It's a blue pearl. They sent me, it's pearl, but you can see it's not quite a perfect match. And the tape lines, I was going to wet sand today and get rid of them. But the body work turned out phenomenal. So I'm really happy about that. That was all rust right there when we bought this car. And right here, you can really tell. This, I was going to try and sand a little bit more, but wherever it's raised right here is where it needs to be, because the cracks are like kind of lifted up a little bit where the bumper was cracked. But if that would just be white, so my dad got some white pearl, some universal pearl white. He's gonna spray over this and over there, and it'll match a little bit better. But I'm more concerned about the body work, which I got done. The bumper's no longer cracked, and yeah, that's terrible. That's definitely a blue. Right here's a little better, but my mom's gonna wet sand it when she gets home, but we had to let it, when you're done painting and then you go to wet sand it, you wet sand from into the paint to the old paint to blend it, and that gets rid of the tape line. But you have to wait over 24 hours, especially it's been really cold and there's snow outside right now. It's October 12th or 13th, so But yeah, it turned out all right. We would take the Bonneville, but I don't want to put Bella in it. So coming out here, got our first snow really of the year. There was a lot more snow last night, but obviously it's melting. It's not ready to stay. Got the Maxima back in the yard here. Traded the Civic for my Maxima back. Super stoked. The water pump's fixed. Everything's fixed. There's my truck over there looking pretty dirty, but still. Go potty, Lars. Go potty. Lara here hates the cold, but she gotta go potty. Bella over here loves the snow. It's like her drug, honestly. Bells. From a hot country, so no bells. Come here. We're here on the Maxima. We're taking the Maxi. I'm hoping it does okay. Kind of a little test to prove that everything's good to go on it. Make sure the heated seats on, heated steering wheel. That's what I love about having this car. Everything's good. I'm gonna go in the garage and grab my quart of coolant, or actually it's like 3 quarts, just to be safe. It's full, but I just have the radiator out. You never know if there's air in the system that was taking up space for. Yeah, I'll be right back. Oh shit! Bella, come here. Ready? Where were you at? You ready to hop in? Haven't been in the Maxi in a while. Oh shit! Haven't been in here in a while, Bells. Let everything warm up for a minute. I'm being extra careful with this car until I know it's reliable again, but I mean, when something breaks, you gotta get trust back in it. Something as big as a water pump and a trans line leaking and a couple other things, so. All right, well, I'm in the truck now. I forgot that back window open, damn it. Oh well, I'll do it when I get back. Yeah, it overheated. The needle went above the H, so just down the street once we got onto the main road. I'm pretty sure that's just because there was air in the system from me taking the radiator out. I didn't put enough. I barely put any coolant back in it because it looked like it was full. So I need to bleed the system and put coolant in it and then go for it, because it wasn't overheating, but when they dropped it off, I was driving it around having fun. So pretty sure that's that. So deal with that later. That's not that big of a deal. I just thought by chance the radiator didn't lose much coolant when I took it out, but it did. Heading out in the Bonneville, I'm gonna go get the engine light scanned on her, kind of see what's up, and then see if the remote start wants to work once that's deleted. I'm pretty sure it's the gas cap, because we have just a cheap AutoZone gas cap in it right now, and my dad just picked up from the dealer the actual gas cap, because this one's impossible to get in and out. It's just not the right fit. So he just picked up the correct one, but yeah. So what we're gonna do is pull this out, pull the Maxima in, so I can bleed the freaking radiator. All right, got her all warmed up here. So pretty soon I'll be making some more videos on this car. I just haven't had time. And so we're going to get the engine light scanned here, but a couple things that happen when you first start it. It says check gas cap, service airbag, and then check coolant low. So the gas cap thing, like I just told you guys, it's the wrong gas cap. My dad just picked up the correct one in the cities at a dealer, so he's gonna get that in it. And then we also got the little coolant thing. Is the reservoir, the sensor's bad. It has a lot of coolant, it's fine. The sensor's bad in the tank, so he ordered a new one of that. That'll be coming in the mail. I'll be installing that. And then he ordered that, which came in already. So when this is back in Brainerd, he's going to go ahead and pop this guy out, pop the new piece into this one, and then pop it back in, which is the dimmer and the fog lights, which would kind of be nice to have. And it's a nice little car for sure. Just kind of getting on it a little bit. Don't want to do too much. It just spins the tires when it's wet. But it's a nice little car. It drives good. Drives pretty straight. Alright, well I went to Napa first. They don't scan codes, but I got white primer to fix the paint and car wash. But so it has 4 codes. They're all emissions. They're all just because of the gas cap, and then it's got the gas cap, so it's the emissions. That's why it's not remote starting. And then it's got the fuel. It's like the fuel tank pressure switch or fuel pressure switch somewhere down by the fuel nozzle. It's like $40, so I'll get that. Probably sometime later this week or something. It's a cool little RSX K-tuned. Nice little car. Cool. Actually, they're really cool little cars. Fun to drive. Checking out some cars here at MTH. Talked to a cool sales guy. I would never buy a car from here. Working here before I know what they get them from, but check out this 300. This guy's here looking. This thing is so nice. I would buy that over a GXP so freaking fast. Man, this thing's such a beautiful car. It's snowing out right now, and white car in the snow. Yeah, this side is. I mean, this side of the car is 100% complete. There's not one flaw, not one door ding, nothing. So here that's missing, but I guess I'm getting that, and then it'll be perfect. The car is pretty freaking nice. It's got a nice little growl to it, even though that's a stock exhaust. I got the vintage GM V8 on there. This I have to touch up some more, just the color is all I care about, which is why I picked up white primer. So that's gonna be my project today before my mom leaves. Just kind of get that to be more white and not like a blue hue to it. Same thing with this area. And then I want to blend it, but I need more time to blend and clear coat and stuff. So I'm gonna tape off exactly where these tape lines were, and I'm gonna prime it white again and paint it with the paint that we got, and hopefully, because this is a dark gray primer under this white, and that's why we think it's giving it this weird color. Because the first time I did it at my mom's house before I sanded to test, it was a perfect match. So, and that I didn't even use primer that time, so I think that's why. So we're gonna go ahead and use the white primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm probably not even gonna sand them. I'm just gonna hit it with the primer, tape it off, clean it really good, alcohol wipes, primer, white primer, and then paint it. Probably just 2 coats because it's already got this paint on it. So probably just 2 coats, a coat or 2 of the actual white paint we ordered, and then probably 3 coats of the pearl that came with it. And I think that'll look really, really good. This car, in my opinion, needs black wheels. And I think wheel spacers would make this thing sit super nice, or just aftermarket wheels. And then up here, someone backed into it. That dent was never there. All this is a different color white, so I need to paint that, but I don't know like exactly what to do, so I might try and tape off where these lines are and paint it with the pearl, our paint, and then the pearl, and I think it'll match the bumper a lot better. But it's still, I mean, whatever. But it's such a nice car. Let's pop the hood here. And my dad said this winter he plans on ordering a new fender. You can get one that's painted on eBay for $200 or non-painted for $100. We're just gonna do painted. It's like $189 and then shipped, so that's basically $200. So this will be gone. This will be gone. It'll all be great. And once I get the paint fixed, it'll be literally perfect. It smells a little bit like burning oil here and there, but I mean it burns oil. Piston rings probably. But these motors are not the strongest anyways, so 4-star. Pretty clean under here. All the pulleys look pretty solid. No play in them. The coolant's clean. Everything's good. So, I mean, it's pretty clean under here. It's not terrible. But, yeah. The only thing I'd say is window tint, wheels, and exhaust. And I'd like to lower it, but my mom doesn't want it lower. So. Give you guys some revs, kind of roll the window down a little bit. It actually sounds really good stock. Like the exhaust has a growl to its stock, which is pretty cool. It's more than the GXP, that's for sure. But I really wish they could have put an LS4 in this car. It just won't fit. The LS4 mated to this transmission would be freaking perfect. This 4T80, I believe, or 4L80, one of the two. I always get the L and the T mixed up, and it was like a 4T80E, something like that. I'll put it on the screen. I always get it mixed up, but the transmission in this car is really, really strong. Versus the 4T65E is not really strong. It's not like weak, it's just not meant for the power when they put in the GXP. It's great for the base Grand Prix and stuff, but not for the GXP with the torque of the V8. So this transmission in that car, it's doable. There's just fab work you got to do. I think it's like different oil pan, some shaving or something. And I don't know, I'm not a transmission person, but I do know that this transmission is a lot better. This car's not like really fast, but it's definitely faster than your average car you drive around, so it's fun. And it sounds really good when you get on it. So that's a big thing. There's a hawk up there. See him flying? So yeah, it sounds really good. I actually like the sound of this car better than the LS4. I think the LS4 sounds too much like a truck, and I think this sounds pretty good. I like the LS4, but I think it sounds a little much like a truck. So, there's nothing wrong with that. But it sounds more like a truck than like a muscle car, if you know what I mean. So I think this is like a good mix between both of them. All right, guys. Well, it's about probably 55 degrees in here. It's not terrible. Maybe 50 degrees, but had it in here warming up. Have that little area, that leak, and the weather stripping blocked off. Both of these little heaters on. That white one and that one. Keep the paint firm. But I mean, over here in this little area, it's probably 65 degrees. I mean, it's not cold at all, and this is kind of keeping the heat this way a little bit on the ground. So you can see here the factory paint. Yes, I have electrical tape on. Not a lot at all. It's only barely on it, and I've used this before. Oh, there goes. And that's also the problem. I can't have both of these heaters on at the same time because apparently they're drawing too much electricity. And they keep blowing the fuse. So I have to reset it. But I got right here done with the, I think 3 coats of primer right here, the actual white primer, so it's actually blending really good. Right here, I just hit my 4th and final coat of primer, and you can see it's very, very, very close to this already, just non-pearlized, which is pretty awesome. So I got my base coat white, and then my pearl. I'm gonna hit I'll probably do 2 coats of the base white and then probably 3 coats of pearl and see how that turns out. Alright, so it's a lot better now. A lot less of that deep see-through color to it. As you can see here, it blends really good. So now it just needs to dry, but like the edge of the paint and stuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and wet sand it in a couple days when my mom comes back down or when I go back up to Brainerd. Wet sand that edge, you blend it into this paint, and that line will go away, and then you buff it, and it'll look really good, hopefully. So it looks a lot better though. It's from up here, it's pretty white on camera. In person, it's still white, but not as white as camera. But then you get down here, you can definitely see the pearl in it. I don't think I got the right match of paint. I think they sent me something a little different. Back here looks a lot better now. So, I mean, it's definitely better than just spraying random white paint on. And once I blend the line in, it'll be a little better, but it just doesn't match the factory paint perfectly. But it's close. And it's not sprayed very good. I'm not a professional, but hey, all the rust is gone. All the brown, ugly rust is gone. So, you know, it's better than it was for sure.